Hello, wonderhussie here from beautiful Lake Tahoe, where I was trying to hang out at one of my favorite nude beaches of all time, Secret Cove, which unfortunately isn't all that much of a secret anymore. I should have known better than to come to any beach at Lake Tahoe on a Saturday, because that's, as we all know, the weekends are amateur hour. And that sounds really snooty to say. I'm lucky that I have the flexibility of schedule to be able to go to a beach Monday through Friday when the rest of the working world is stuck in a truck or a grocery store or a cubicle. And they only have the weekends to come out. And so consequently, as you know, Saturdays and Sundays are just a bad time to go anywhere pretty much, especially someplace as beautiful as Lake Tahoe. I mean, just in case you've forgotten, or in case you've never been to Lake Tahoe, or you've never seen any of my videos, well, this is what it looks like. It's a huge, crystal clear alpine lake way up north on the border of California and Nevada, surrounded by beautiful pine forests, and it has these gorgeous little sandy coves tucked away here and there around the lakeshore, like the one back there behind me, which is called Secret Cove and is supposed to be a nude beach. And poor Dennis has really been struggling this summer. It's been worse than ever. You know, he's been struggling the last few summers. You might remember I've been up here making videos a few years now, and he's been complaining about the crowds and the trash and the fact that no one's going naked anymore. And guess what? It's just as bad as ever, if not worse, this summer. There's record numbers of people up here, and just about all of them are wearing swimsuits. I sort of feel like a surfer. If you know anything about surf culture, I learned this from my friend Terry, who's a big surfer. Surfers find secret surf breaks, secret surf beaches, and they try to keep it to themselves. But inevitably, other people find out about them, amateur surfers who don't live the surfing life full time. And when those amateur surfers come to these private surf spots, the surfers get real bent out of shape, and they call the invaders kooks. Kooks. I guess it's a disparaging term for amateurs, kind of like what I was just saying about the weekends being amateur hour. Well, up here at Secret Cove Nude Beach, there's been an infestation of kooks, and I feel like a real snob saying that, but it's true. It's people who don't understand the nudist culture, and they don't even really understand the beach culture. They come down here, they blare their music, they leave a lot of trash behind on the beach, they drag heavy coolers and wagons up and down the path, and they consequently tear the path up. And it just feels salty to complain. I mean, Lake Tahoe is a beautiful natural resource that was placed here by the creator for all of us to enjoy. So who am I to sit here complaining about all these kooks? I mean, look at the Native Americans, okay? They might have a right to complain about us white kooks. I mean, that's basically what the Pilgrims were, a bunch of kooks coming over to America. You know, America was like this beautiful secret hidden spot until the Pilgrims or Christopher Columbus or whoever. Christopher Columbus was like the uber kook of all time, I guess you could say. Anyway, kooks, amateurs, whatever you want to call them, they have thoroughly invaded Secret Cove, and it's driving Dennis nuts.
You know, 600 people on a weekend down here, and then people leaving their trash. It's just, I don't know where these people were born.
Me, like I said, I'm conflicted. I actually don't mind when people wear a swimsuit. I know plenty of people who just don't feel comfortable hanging around naked in public, and I respect that. In fact, my friend Terry, the surfer, is one of those people. I've spent a lot of time at Hot Springs with Terry, and he prefers to always wear his swim trunks. He grew up a surfer in surf culture, and in surf culture, you don't go in the water naked, so that's fine. I don't mind hanging around with people wearing swimsuits. I just mind hanging around on a beach when there's a bunch of people blasting copyrighted music, especially when it's crappy copyrighted music, and especially when those people leave a bunch of trash behind that Dennis and some of the other regulars at this beach end up having to pack out. You know, like I said, this is a jewel of the American West, and it belongs to all of us, so all I can do is ask people to please be respectful. And most people are respectful. Like, look at that. That poor guy probably spends 90 hours a week in some Silicon Valley cubicle, and he gets 3 measly days off a year that he can take his beautiful wife up here to Lake Tahoe and take photos of her standing on this rock so that he can put it on his screensaver and look at it the rest of the 362 days a year that he's locked in the bowels of Google or Apple or IBM or wherever the hell he works. You know, I get it. I'm really lucky that I'm able to be out here any day of the week. As a matter of fact, I've been up in this area since Monday. I came out here Monday night. I hung out at the beach Tuesday and Wednesday. Then I went over to Reno on Thursday because Mumford was over in Reno. There's a big Vegas to Reno off-road race. There's a race that goes all the way from Las Vegas to Reno off-road the entire way. Well, this year they did it backwards from Reno to Vegas, and one of his friends was competing in it. So I went over there to meet up with Mumford and hang out with the race people for a day, and then I followed Mumford over to the pit where he was stationed. He was waiting at one of the pits so that when his buddy came racing in, Mumford was there with the gas can ready to gas him up and send him on his way. And so I camped out in this astoundingly desolate valley. It was over by Rawhide. Have you ever heard of Rawhide, Nevada? I actually did a video at a hot spring over there once. It's a very barren desert valley, but gorgeous in its desolation. And being in a place like that, where there's nobody around for probably 100 miles in any direction, it made me think, like, is this world really too crowded? Because when I was here at the beach, me and Dennis were talking about, oh, there's just too many people in the world. And that's why this beach is, I mean, you should have seen it. When I say it was crowded, it was so crowded. There was probably 200 people down there earlier today. And it was more than the beach could comfortably contain. But, you know, like I said, everybody wants to enjoy these beautiful places, and so it seems salty to go, no, we don't have any room, stay away. Like, there's still plenty of room in this country. It's just people all want to come to the same damn spots. And I'm not gonna lie, I did wonder if maybe I wasn't part of the problem. You know, here I am making these videos showing these beautiful places. Everybody blames social media for these places being overcrowded, including Dennis, but Dennis gave me a pass. But I think that's just because he knows me. You know, him and this other guy I was talking to blamed social media for the overcrowding of these beautiful places. And, well, I took it personally, and I mean, how could I not? I make a living doing social media. Is it my fault that these places are getting overrun? I don't know. I don't think it's just social media. I think it's the internet in general. Okay, before the internet, if you wanted to go find a beautiful nude beach, you had to either hear about it word of mouth, or you had to go to some seedy bookstore and go all the way into the back behind that beaded curtain and find the nudist magazine and look in the back pages and send $3.95 to some creepy P.O. box in Times Square to get a list of nude beaches in America. It was a lot harder. Then the internet came out in the late 90s, and I'll bet you by the year 2000 there was already 5 websites up listing all the beautiful nude beaches in America for anybody who had a computer to access. And so it became much more accessible. This information became much more accessible to people with the birth of the internet. I don't think it was just social media. I think it was just the internet in general. But even more than the internet and even more than social media, it's just the fact that there's more people than there used to be. And unfortunately, I don't see people stopping having sex and reproducing anytime soon. So this is just the way it's gonna be. So we have to learn to share these places with 199 other people and just hope that they at least pack out their trash. Anyway, like I said, I am lucky in that I'm self-employed, free as a bird. Hey, you're probably wondering, wonderhussie, why are you at a nude beach wearing clothes? Well, I'm not wearing clothes. I'm wearing my magic bikini, which, as we all know, is invisible to those who have a true, pure heart. But I'm also wearing this freedom cape, okay? In this Independence freedom cape, no matter what happens, I'll always be free. So I'm kind of bummed out today because I have to go back down to the bowels of hell, aka Death Valley, day after tomorrow. That's right, I've been traveling around all summer in all these beautiful places, sleeping out of my car like the Dharma Bums. I'm listening to that book, The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. I still am not sure I really understand exactly what Dharma means, but my understanding is a Dharma bum is someone whose Dharma, sort of like whose fate is to be a bum. But it's sort of like a spiritual bum? I don't know. I have a really hard time articulating it, but I'm really enjoying the book. And I thoroughly identify with the characters, and I feel like I am a Dharma bum. I've been traveling around the West all summer, sleeping in my car, doing it on the cheap, thinking philosophical thoughts all the while. Doesn't that make me basically a Dharma bum? Maybe I wear too much makeup to be a Dharma bum. Maybe you can't be a Dharma bum if you're a girl or a woman. So I noticed that too in the book. It's all dudes. All the guys have all the fun. You know, there's this part in the book, they're going to go hiking in the Sierra. They go to Bridgeport. Okay, another one of my favorite places where I just was yesterday. In the book, they go to Bridgeport to go hike this mountain, and this girl wants to come with them. And at first they say she can come, but then they make some joke about gang banging her, and then she doesn't end up coming. It's like, what the heck, guys? Is adventure a boys' club? Is there no room for women in these situations? Is there no place for a female Dharma bum? I don't know, you tell me. I feel like I have a pretty nice Dharma bum. You like that? Anyway, I have felt that for a long time, that adventure is sort of a boys' club, and I'm like the odd woman out, I guess. I don't even really feel like a woman, though. You know, man, I don't feel like a woman. Dun, dun, da, 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 woo! No, somebody told me a couple weeks ago, I was talking to a viewer of this channel who said he thought I was like a third sex. Okay, I'm not talking about they, them. He just said, I'm not really like a man, I'm not really like a woman, I'm like my own third gender. I think he said gender, not sex. And I thought that was pretty interesting, because obviously physically I am a woman, and I'm attracted to men, and I identify as a woman, and my pronouns are she, her, but I don't identify with traditional female gender roles. I guess I'm driving around the country, drinking beers, running around naked, sleeping in my car, sleeping in ditches. I don't have kids, I never married. You know, I don't really feel like a woman. I'm not a man, so what am I? I feel like I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm a human. Can I just be a human being? I don't know, the friggin' Dharma bums probably still wouldn't let me hike up the Matterhorn with them, no matter how cool I am. Okay, sorry for the tangent. I better enjoy my last beautiful evening here on the shore of Lake Tahoe. Yes, that's right, I have to leave this beautiful place today. But I did get 2-3 days here at the beach, and that's pretty good for a summer. I hung out, oh yeah, I was telling you guys, I went to Reno, and then I went to that very desolate valley in Nevada, and I camped out there with Mumford, and got up real early in the morning because the race contestants were going to start coming through at like 8 a.m. So I got up at like 6. It was absolutely gorgeous. And then I drove over to Bridgeport, and I went to the hot spring there. I got some asada fries. My favorite asada fries ever are at the barn in Bridgeport, and I've been looking forward all summer to having some asada fries. So I drove over there around 2 o'clock, and I ate way too many. It's a big portion. That's the only downside. I wish they would make a half portion. I ate 3/4 of the helping of asada fries, and consequently my stomach was so pooched out that I went to the hot spring after that, and I was hanging out in the hot spring, and it was kind of a funky crowd. It was some kids and families and like kind of cracked out looking people, but I had my book, and I was just gonna sit in the hot spring and read and relax for a while, something I never do. But I started talking to the little girl, a little 6-year-old girl started talking to me. She goes, "Do you have a baby?" And I said, "No, why do you ask?" And she said, "'Cause your belly's fat." Oh my God, this little girl thought I was pregnant. Oh. Guess what? I left the hot spring immediately after that and went and hiked up a mountain before I came up here to my free campsite. I don't even want to call it a campsite. I've been camping basically at the side of the road up here. Dennis has this little secret spot he found where it's not allowed to camp overnight. It's not really like a nice camping place. It's just a place where they won't hassle you. So anyway, yeah, I did that. I didn't want to hang out in the hot spring naked anymore. I felt too fat. So today, I've been trying to go easy on food. My stomach is a lot flatter now. Me and Dennis went over to a party earlier. So let me show you guys. I'm kind of hunkered down on the far side of these rocks. For 2 reasons. 1, they're blasting copyrighted music over there in the cove. And 2, I kind of feel like I shouldn't show too much of the cove because it's already way too popular as it is, and I don't want to be an even bigger part of the problem than I already am. And I know I try to be a very ethical YouTuber and not say exactly where these places are, and it still conflicts me quite a bit. I think that's why I'm not more successful than I am. I mean, I have a good amount of followers, 300,000, nothing to sneeze at, but I feel like I would be much more successful and happier if I really felt confident in what I was doing. And I think at heart, I still feel conflicted about social media and being a part of the problem. I don't know. Am I the problem? I mean, the way I look at it, there's a lot of people who watch these videos that are physically incapable of getting out and seeing these places. So I'm just giving you guys a window to the world that you might not otherwise see. And I'm doing it in an ethical way where I don't give too many details out, but still, there's many who would say I am the problem, and I think at heart I do kind of feel like I'm the problem, and oh gosh. Anyway, the cove is back over there, but there's another nude beach a little bit farther south a ways that is a way better beach. I'll be honest, I had never hung out there before until I went to this party with Dennis. They actually have a sandy beach that you can lay out on with plenty of room for towels and umbrellas and the whole thing. And a beautiful little sandy, it's not really a kind of a cove. I don't know, it doesn't have that, to me, that really beautiful Caribbean charm of Secret Cove, but it's really, really nice. Anyway, we went to a party down there and it was awesome. I met some really nice people, had some good food. But I didn't eat too much because I didn't want any kids asking me if I'm pregnant. So anyway, yeah, I gotta start heading back down south towards the searing, broiling, baking misery of Death Valley in August because I have to take care of business, okay? I've been farting around being a Dharma bum all summer long. Well, I gotta go to the doctor, okay? I gotta get this thing on my shin checked out. I got an appointment with a dermatologist on Wednesday, and then I figured while I'm at it I should probably make an appointment with my regular doctor, just get my blood work done. I try to stay on top of that stuff every year. You know, it's like getting your oil changed. I want my car to last as long as it can. I want my body, my life to last as long as it can. So I'm gonna go to the couple different doctors. I gotta resupply, buy some food and stuff. I gotta get ready for Burning Man. I got a bunch of stuff. I gotta get a new... I dropped my phone the other day when I was in the desert with Mumford and the screen protector cracked. Thankfully, it's just the screen protector. I have an excellent, it's like a very expensive $50 glass screen protector, but it works, man. And at first I was like, oh, I dropped the phone, fell over when I was trying to take photos of myself in my flowy American flag Independence cape out in the desert because I thought it was really a cool, it was so vast and desolate out there. I thought, oh, it was balmy, it wasn't cold. I went through the craziest rainstorm on the way there. I left Reno to go, and it was just out past Fernley. We had to go to Fernley and then turn south, or Fallon and then turn south. We went through the craziest rainstorm. I got a tornado alert on my phone. You know how the phone comes up with that emergency? Well, I'm driving in this driving rain on I-80, like hands clenched on the wheel, and all of a sudden my phone started squeezing out. Tornado alert! I almost turned around, but thankfully kept going. The storm cleared, and I got to the place where we camped, and it was this absolutely beautiful evening after the storm with this cloudy, overcast, moody sky. But it wasn't cold, it was balmy. And so, yeah, I was running around naked, waving my friggin' flag around, trying to take pictures of myself. I had my phone up on the tripod, and a gust of wind blew it over and cracked the screen protector. And it works, okay? I can't use my fingerprint anymore to unlock the phone, so that's kind of a pain. And I really don't want to spend $50 on another screen protector because the Australian government is supposedly sending me that other phone back. And if I can get that other phone back, I can return this one to my insurance and just use the one that the Aussies have been holding on to me all year, and it has a perfectly good screen protector on it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to arrive in time before I leave for Burning Man, and I want to be able to have a good camera at Burning Man. So I got to go home, put a new screen protector on, blah, 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 blah. Back to Death Valley I go. Ugh, I guess I better just do it. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. Just gotta get it over with. Bye, Lake Tahoe. I'll see you soon. But for now, it's time for me to hike back up to my car and figure out where I'm gonna camp tonight. And I know what you're probably wondering, well, gee, wonderhussie, you just said you had a place to camp over by Dennis. Sure, it's not very scenic, but why don't you just head over there? Well, I think I'm gonna go meet up with Mumford again tomorrow. Mumford continued on down to Vegas. He followed the whole race all the way to the end outside Pahrump. But I didn't want to go back down to Pahrump yet. I still have a few more days of freedom before I have to go back down there. I'm not going back down there before I absolutely have to. Oh gosh, this altitude is really kicking my butt. We're at like 8,000 feet up here. And even though I'm not a smoker, I can feel it anyway. Yeah, Mumford went all the way down to Pahrump basically, but he's gonna come back up north. And since I have to head south anyway, I'm gonna head south and we're gonna meet up at an undisclosed location somewhere in the middle tomorrow. And tomorrow's really my last day. Well, I was gonna say tomorrow's my last day of freedom, but really, when you're a Dharma bum like me, wearing a fabulous freedom cloak, any day, every day is free. You know, even if I do have to go home and sit and edit or pack for Burning Man, I mean, really, boo-hoo. I have to go home to get ready to go to another party. Oh. Burning Man's gonna be interesting for me this year. I'm not dragging my trailer up there for the first time ever. I'm gonna go minimalist. I'm staying with this other person I know in her RV. I think I already talked about this. So I'm kind of just, I guess I'm gonna be a sparkle pony. That's what they call it at Burning Man, when you're the kind of flaky girl who just shows up and looks cute and doesn't bring anything. Well, I'm gonna bring my own food and, you know, whatever she wants me to bring. But I'm basically gonna sparkle pony it up. So really, it's not that bad. I'm gonna go home. Yes, I'm gonna have to hit the books editing. I'm gonna have to go to a couple doctor's appointments, but overall, I'll still be as free as I want to. Freedom is just a state of mind. Haha, you probably thought I was gonna say freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Well, it's that too. But it is also a state of mind. Yeah, we're all as free as we want to be. Even those people that were locked up in solitary confinement can escape in their minds and their thoughts and be just as free as an eagle in the sky. Okay, we're coming up on the steepest part of the trail, coming up on the highway up here. Oh, can we do it? Yes, we can. When you're wearing a magic bikini and a freedom cape, anything is possible. Am I right? Okay, maybe not anything, but most things. Okay, here we are on the edge of the highway. Oh, we got a break in traffic. Nobody coming that way. Nobody really coming that way. Right across the street, there's my car. I came up here at 8 a.m. this morning. That's right, I got up in time to be here at 8 a.m. Okay, the place I've been camping is only a few miles down the road, but it can be really hard to get a parking spot here, especially because, you know, most of the beaches on Lake Tahoe are like private or state beaches. I guess they're all state beaches or private beaches. So there aren't a whole lot of free beaches that you can just find a spot and hike down to, and that's one reason this cove is so popular. You can park legally anywhere along this highway as long as your wheels are on the other side of this fog line. And so you can see that's what everyone does, including me, but I got here at 8 a.m. because Dennis told me it's really crowded here on the weekends, and so I wanted to make sure I had a place to park my little home on the road. Boy, I swear I really am like a hobo, except for the fact that I'm driving a $50,000 SUV, living in a car. I'm just a little step up from living in a van down by the river. Actually, maybe I'm just a little step down from living in a van down by the river. I don't know, man. I've been pretty comfortable in this thing, and I've camped out most of the time I've been away. There was a couple nights where I stayed in hotels because I had to. You know, like when I was in Hollywood. Well, I didn't stay in a hotel. I stayed with Mike Z. I stayed in a hotel in like Ventura and Santa Maria because there's not a whole lot of free camping in that area, or not that I know of. But other than that, yeah, it was either staying with friends or my mom, or sleeping in my trusty Foreigner. That's right, I'm still a camping and a sleeping in my rig. In fact, you can see that I have my solar panel laid out on my roof. I've had it on the roof all day while I was down at the beach, juicing up my Jackery power bank, which is powering my Starlink, which I have stuck up there in the sunroof. Because one of the downsides to this place I've been camping by Dennis is I have 0 cell signal. So if I want to be able to go on the internet for anything or make any phone calls, I gotta run the Starlink. Now, unfortunately, I just got an email from Starlink that I've reached my data limit. God, how much money do you have to pay these greedy bastards, man? I pay Starlink $200 a month. I think that's for the internet back at the compound too, though. So between the two of them, $200 a month. Apparently I've hit my data limitation and they're gonna throttle my speed and it's gonna go way down. So that's why I gotta figure out a new place to camp. I can't park there tonight or I won't be able to upload this video. So I guess I'm just gonna wrap this up. Crawl into the back of my car with my laptop. Pull the door closed for some peace and quiet and get to work. Okay, I realize it might not seem very glamorous living the life of a Dharma bum, but hey, at least I'm free.